This is our Parent 101 panel. We're going to do our best to answer some questions for you so that if you kind of need a 50,000-foot overview of everything about Bennett Academy, that's our goal. We're shooting for 15 minutes to answer all the basic questions that you might have. So, to start things off, probably the most pragmatic question that you might have right now is, so what does a freshman schedule look like? So I'm going to have Principal Myers kind of answer that question for us. So what's in a freshman schedule?
Hi, thank you. So thank you for joining us today. A freshman schedule is going to have an English, a math, science, social studies, language, religion, PE, and a study hall. Did I get everybody there for a second?
Unless it's band or orchestra.
Thank you. Unless you have band or orchestra, in which you'll forfeit that study hall so that you can have a band or orchestra during your school day. We also offer our freshman choir as well, but that gets integrated into that schedule in other ways. The English, social studies, and science offering have both a college prep level and an honors level. The school will make a placement initially based on the HSPT data, that's the test your sons or daughters took to get into the school, and they'll put you in one of those two classes. If you as a parent feel like we've made a misplacement, there's a process where you just basically inform the school that you prefer the opposite class, and we can adjust the schedule. We let parents have a lot of liberty in choosing those three classes because, to be candid, there's not a great way for us to predict how well your child will do in those classes, and as you know your children better than we do, we kind of let you pick. For math and language, we have a proficiency testing system. So if you get placed into, let's say, honors algebra, and you'd like to start your freshman year as an honors geometry student, you do have the proficiency out of algebra. So we actually have a test that's offered in June, and success on that test will put you into that geometry class. And you can actually continue testing until you max out. So we do have some students who even test out of geometry, and the first class will be advanced algebra trig. On a very, very rare occasion, you'll be getting tested out of in that class, and they'll start in AD calculus. You also then have a proficiency test in the languages. We offer Spanish, French, German, and Latin. And again, you can proficiency all the way to your correct level. Religion, PE, and then the orchestra band, those are all just regular classes. There are no honors levels in them. We are going to email families that preliminary schedule on Friday, March 4th, so kind of keep your eyes on the inbox for that. And again, there will be a process to either ask for a different placement in some of those classes or sign up for a proficiency exam if you'd like to test into other classes.
Great. Next, we're going to hear from Dean Butera, who will talk to us a little bit about transportation and uniforms.
Hi, so we have so many students come from so many different parts of our area around here, so we try to offer to the best we can different transportation options. If you live in Lyle 202 or Naperville 203, bus service is free. It is part of the district. They offer the bus service, and so you will have bus service here free if you so choose to sign up for it. We do offer some other bus options as well, but these are paid options. So one of them is if you live in the Orland Park area, Lamont, out that way, we do have a 355 bus. That bus makes its stops at different areas off of 355. So there might be a McDonald's, like the McDonald's off of 355 in Boughton is one of the stops. Just kind of depends on what is there off that area. The other option that you can pay for a bus is a South Naperville Plainfield option, and that bus stops along Route 59 and comes from Plainfield down through South Naperville and then comes to school. And then the final bus option we have is a bus train option. If you live along the Burlington-Santa Fe route, we do have a shuttle bus that will go to Lyle train station in the morning, pick students up, and then bring them to school. Same thing after school, leaves here, takes them to the train station, and you can take the train home to any of those stops. Just as everything else, with COVID, the train schedule has been changed quite a bit. So this year was a little bit harder to organize and try to get students here from the train. We're hopeful we'll have more of a normal schedule in the fall for the train, and that will be available to anyone along that line. As always, you can drive your student to school as well, and if we don't reach you with transportation, we are really happy to help you find some kind of carpooling situation. We do have families who come all the way from Schaumburg, and we'll try to find other families driving that way and get you hooked up with each other, so that's an easy way to find someone to drive with. As far as uniform goes, we are a very traditional uniform here. Gentlemen wear pants and an Oxford shirt and a tie, And ladies also have the option to wear pants. Most of the ladies here choose to wear our skirt with an Oxford shirt and tights. We order everything but the freshman girls' shirts through Land's End. And so we'll get that information to you soon. We're working on a new kind of deal with Land's End, and once we get that set up, that information will be emailed to you on how to order your uniform.
Great, thanks, Dean Butera. So we've heard a little bit about schedules, uniforms, transportation, and students coming from all over Chicagoland. I'd like to have Lexi kind of answer a question here. Lexi Santella, she is a freshman here at Bennett. Lexi, tell us a little bit about how you learned to manage your time here at Bennett Academy, coming from 8th grade to freshman year with your study hall, what that was like.
Right, so hi everyone, I'm Lexi. I have been at Bennett now for only about one semester. Now we're into the second semester, but the best advice that I can give any of you is to really take advantage of your study halls. I would recommend just really tuning out any distractions. For the first semester of study halls, I like to just zone out, play games, watch movies, and just really not use them to the best of my ability. But as I quickly learned, as well as a majority of other freshmen, it's super crucial to take advantage of that time, study, get your work done, meet with other teachers, and just use the resources that Bennett provides. Through transitioning from 8th grade, I knew a lot of people from my old school, but through clubs, activities, I'm involved in cheerleading as well as track and a bunch of other clubs and sports. I found a lot of ways to make new friends as well as add to my old friends. So
Lexi, could you talk a little bit about SALT and your involvement in SALT? SALT is our Serving and Loving Together. It's a division of campus ministry. Could you talk a little bit about that for us?
Yes, so SALT is one of my favorite programs at Bennett, despite the fact that I have made so many friends through SALT and had a lot of older kids reach out to me. Through SALT, I have been able to develop a really strong faith that I feel like through other programs at Bennett, I've gotten so, it's been a really enriching program. Through SALT, I've been able to grow closer to God and my community. We, through SALT, are able to do a lot of community service in and out of national and international programs and go on trips and retreats, and I just feel that through SALT, I can grow to be a better person, a better Catholic, and really understand the religious and community aspect of Bennett.
Great, thanks, Lexi. Next, we're going to hear from Ben Montgomery. Ben is a senior here at Bennett Academy. Ben, you're at the tail end now. We're in second semester senior year. Looking back on your 4 years here at Bennett Academy, what would you say has been a critical component of kind of your experience here at Bennett Academy?
So I think the critical component, I guess, of my experience is kind of how Bennett really is just a second family, a second home. Everyone is just so kind, so welcoming, and even since my freshman year, I've kind of known people. Even when I was a freshman, I knew some seniors, and it was just an awesome kind of family-like environment, and you have friends that kind of really teach you how to grow up and mature and work in class, but also have fun outside of school. So I think that's the most important aspect for me, and obviously joining different extracurriculars, like I'm in choir, orchestra, dance, the musical. Doing all that stuff is really important to find friends, make new friends, and also kind of find yourself and what you're good at.
Great, thanks, Ben. Next, we're going to hear from Mrs. Bedore, our Director of Campus Ministry, to talk a little bit more about SALT.
So SALT stands for Serving and Loving Together. It's a smaller, the student-led portion of our campus ministry program. We have 23 students right now who are board leaders who take care of all different aspects of campus ministry. If you think of like a parish ministry, where there are different aspects like liturgical ministry and service to the community, retreats, pilgrimages, our liturgies and our sacraments, that campus ministry board called SALT with our students is really in charge of quite a bit of that. Parents and our students are invited to join us every Monday through Friday at 7:10 a.m. for Mass. So that's some of our sacraments we offer, as well as every semester our religion classes will have the opportunity to go to confession. And then on Monday nights we offer 7:30 to 8:30 Eucharistic adoration, and parents and students are welcome to attend that. Yeah, that's it.
Great. Next, we'll hear from Debbie Eckert. She's our head of the counseling program here at Bennett Academy, the counseling department. Could you give us a little bit of an overview of what the counseling program here at Bennett Academy does and the services they provide for our students?
Sure can, Mr. Burgess, thank you. So Bennett has 7 members in the counseling department. We have 3 school counselors, where the alphabet is divided into thirds, so that each of us have a third. We stay with your students freshman, sophomore, and junior year. And then we have 3 counterparts for our college counselors. They begin to do group work with the juniors, and then they become their primary counselor senior year. We also have an administrative assistant who's kind of a jack of all trades, helps with scheduling the college rep program, etc. But transitioning to high school, what can we provide? What are we here for? We have an open door policy for parents, for students, for faculty and staff, because we want to be a support system for the students. One faculty member one year kind of described the counselors as the guardian angels, and that's what we kind of like to think of ourselves as. We deal in 3 different domains: the academics, we're school, probably our primary focus. Then we have the college and counseling, career and college counseling, and that will begin sophomore year with our career exploration, and then continue on junior year, senior year with our college exploration. And then we also have the personal social domain, which is probably the least known of what we do, because that's a very confidential, more private arena where that work is done individually. We work in groups with the freshmen and sophomores in something called advisory, different than the advisory program maybe some are familiar with if you're coming from the public school. And we deal with lessons in those 3 domains that I mentioned. Through the advisory program, we get to know our students. Some students will seek us out individually for any number of reasons, on a frequent basis, some on a less frequent basis. And those who are very resilient and they don't need much of our assistance except for advisory and maybe course selection process or some quick questions, we don't see them quite as often. But we're here for whoever needs us. We welcome you to come and ask questions, your students, parents, and we want to be here to support you. So all I have to say is, go Red Wings!
Thank you, Mrs. Eckert. And last but certainly not least, we'll hear from Michelle Redeker. She is in charge of our financial services to talk a little bit about tuition and fees and some important dates coming up.
Hi everybody, welcome. Glad you're here today. Our tuition has been set for next fall. It will be $13,600, and we have student fees of $325. Of that tuition, $300 is due as a down payment by March 1st, and that secures your student's spot here at Bennett, as well as get started on the scheduling that Mr. Myers talked about that will be coming up shortly thereafter. We have a number of financial aid opportunities for those of you who might want some assistance. It's all the applications are included on our website, so you can look at that. The one I'll call your attention to specifically is only for freshmen. It's called the Chasma Family Foundation. It's incredibly generous. The Chasma family will guarantee $6,000 of tuition per year, guaranteed for 4 years. And there's an additional incentive for academics. So that is definitely one that you'll want to take a look at. Again, the application is included on our website, so if that's something you're interested in, you can go there to look at that. The deposit and the payment form to tell us how you're going to pay and how often you're going to pay, what plan you're choosing, is due March 1st. So that's your magical date. You have to do your down payment, your form, your payment form, and financial aid applications. They're all due March 1st. If there's any other questions, I'm happy to stay outside and come and have a chat.
Great, thanks. Last but certainly not least, your son or daughter, in terms of getting acclimated to Bennett Academy, you are going to see that there are a wide range of ways that in the spring and into the summer, into the early fall, we're going to be providing for your student to be able to get to meet their classmates. We will be emailing you information about, sometimes it'll be things like we'll be inviting the class of 2026 to a basketball game, or we'll be hosting an event through SALT, or we'll be talking about our College Prep Tech class, which is offered over the summer, once in June and once in July, with a wide range of times available for your son or daughter to sign up. And with that class, it's a 9-day course that is for credit, great at Bennett Academy, but also is really orientation for your son or daughter. It is not required, but it is strongly recommended, and it's an opportunity for your son or daughter to learn how to use their iPad, the programs that we'll be using. They'll make friends, they'll learn some executive functioning techniques. We'll We'll talk about all the digital platforms in which they'll be submitting and retrieving work, how to use our online grading program called Portals and access all that information, along with a bunch of other ways like scavenger hunts and other team building exercises where they'll not only get to know the school, but they'll get to know themselves and each other in a meaningful way. So that on the first day of school when they arrive, they already have built relationships with students here from other schools. So that's really important that we help your son or daughter feel connected to the Bennett community early so that day one of school is an extension of what we've built over the summer. So if you have any questions, our contact information is on the digital admissions packet that we've shared with you. We'll be out in the hallway to have any other conversations or questions that you might have for us. And thank you so much for coming to Bennett Academy. Thanks.